All right, some real quick load board looks, and got a couple of markets I want to look at that I've been asked about over the past couple of weeks. I'm going to use truckloads. If you've never used truckloads load board before, it's from the same people that do the Trucker Path. Why am I brain fart there? Trucker Path came out with this. Man, it is a great load board. So many features, but let's just take a quick look. I had somebody ask about Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a terrible power only market. New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, well, most of Nevada, especially southern Nevada, just terrible power only market. But I'm looking out, if you're in Vegas, few hours you can be down to Los Angeles, a few hours you can be in Phoenix. So I look out quite a bit. And so let's look at this. What is this? Los Angeles to Dallas, $1,852. Let's see what this is all about. Doesn't have any information on it, but it's a heavy load, and it's only paying $1.29 a mile. That's just terrible. But California, Florida, very similar in that they have just a ton of truck drivers that live out there. So anything coming out is not going to pay very good. Here's one, San Bernardino to Salt Lake City, 644 miles. RGN trailer and container. Man, they got to be crazy for offering that kind of rate, don't they? It's amazing. Let's see here. Now, on this one, you might make a call. You never know. There must be a reason why they're offering that kind of a rate. Maybe they're going to let you use the trailer on the way back. I don't know, but that's just craziness right there. It doesn't make much sense. But here's San Diego to Dallas, another crazy rate, but let's take a look at it. Okay, loadout trailer. Boom. This one's a good one. San Diego to Dallas, you can find van loads all day long that pay pretty good. And here's one, a van they're going to pay you to use their van, $700. So you're already starting out in the black. You got 50 cents per mile already. So that's good right there. Lots of loadout trailers on here. The past couple of weeks, there've just been tons and tons of loadout trailers going everywhere. So that tells me freight's really picking up. Here's one, Redlands, California to Far, Texas. Obviously a loadout trailer, but it's going to just a terrible area. There's freight down there, but the rates coming out of South Texas, near Laredo are just terrible. Loadout trailers going to Maryland. And, don't just look at these, I get asked that a lot, people that aren't familiar with power only, they're worried about making as much money as they did pulling a van. What I always say is you can still pull a van, but now you're going to get paid for it. Instead of paying rent, $200 a week to have a van, you can get somebody to pay you to use their van. And usually you can find these vans going everywhere. But, ones like this, you say, oh, it's going to Maryland. I don't want to go to Maryland. But maybe you can find a load going within a couple hundred miles there that's paying, really good rate, and drop that thing off in Deadhead, a couple hundred miles with an empty trailer and get rid of it. It's just, it may not be perfectly convenient, but if you want a van all the time, that's what you can do. You can get paid to use somebody else's van instead of renting one. Again, just a ton of loadout trailers on here. Here we go. West Valley, Utah to Kansas City. That's just another rate. Keep in mind, I'm looking at this load board on a Sunday. The worst day to look at a load board. Usually by Thursday afternoon, all the good loads that are running over the weekend are gone. By Friday, you're just you're picking up crumbs if you're trying to search for a load over the weekend. And Saturday and Sunday, there's just nothing left on the load board. And usually, by Monday mid-morning, it starts picking up. But here's a trailer, 53-foot reefer, non-working unit. Now, this says it's a towaway, and it is paying $2,200 like it is a towaway. But it goes on to say it's a non-working unit. That shouldn't even be a factor. Why would they put that in there unless somebody mislabeled this? Might even be able to ask them, hey, can I load this out and still make that amount of money? I'm sure many people will take that money and go load it out too without saying anything. You got to be careful. Some of these trailers are broken up, broken frames. If you load it out, it might break in half going down the highway. Again, load out trailers going everywhere. South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Maryland, Fort Worth. So yeah, load out trailers going everywhere, which, brings up let's look here at, if you're going to pick up a loadout trailer, let's see if you can pick up a load in a van. And okay, here's the rates just jump up there real quick. Of course, there's, a lot of loads coming out of that area. So picked up that loadout trailer, you can do a $4 a mile load going up to Minden, Nevada, and that's a pretty good market. There's quite a few distribution centers up there. Here's one, over $4 a mile going into Colorado. It's a heavy load. You can hit some mountains going through there, so keep that in mind. Here's one, $5 a mile, Buckeye, Arizona. Oh, here's another thing right here. Let's take a look at this one. This load board has lots of tools, cool tools. So you take this load over to Buckeye, Arizona, you make $5.09 a mile. You're not sure, you don't want to, lots of times you have to get off the load board or look at another load board to see if there's loads coming out of there going back to where you want or somewhere else. This one has a tab right here saying backhaul. It tells you right away how many loads are available on the next couple of days coming out of there. So you can click on that and it'll show you where those loads are going. But another cool tool is, if I can get my microphone to sit back down. Let's take a look at this one again. This one I really love. So it has this load profit calculator. Boom. It fills out in, the load revenue. It fills in the necessary categories, the miles, the rate per mile, and how much that load makes. And then right underneath it, you can put in how many miles per gallon your truck gets and how much you're going to pay for fuel. And it would automatically estimate your profit on that load. So, man, it takes a lot of the thinking out of it for you. It has a fuel surcharge calculator. For all of us out here that are, have our own authority, that's not even a thought anymore. You can, if you're working for one of those big companies that advertise, they, give you the fuel surcharge, then you can look there and see what you should be getting. But, yeah, some really good rates coming out of there with the van. So like I said before, if you're worried about doing power only and not having that van, don't worry about it. You can almost always find a van going in all different directions and keep a van most of the time if you want to. All right, so that's, love this truckloads load board. Let's take a look over here, see if the DAT board, it wants to work today. Okay, Las Vegas, power only. Let's take a real quick look if it's gonna. I run into this problem a lot with DAT board and truck stop where, I'm trying to find a load, I'm trying to do it really quick. I log on and it'll sit there and spin and think about it. And no matter if I'm on Wi-Fi, if I'm on my hotspot in my phone, if I'm on cellular, if I'm, what have you, they're always doing some kind of maintenance and it's always costing me time, which in turn could cost me money. But let's look at this. Power only, highest rate coming out of around Las Vegas. Come on, there we go. So there you go. There's one, Los Angeles to Atlanta. Not a great rate, but here's what, I make fun of people doing this a lot. Newbies do this, some other people, but they'll look at that number right there. Look right there at the top. They'll see, oh, $5,000. I need to call. I need to get that. Well, they don't, do the math. It's almost 2,200 miles. So that's less than $250 a mile. There's a lot of people out there that do that. They don't think about the miles. They just think, oh, $5,000. I can make over $1,000 a day, driving their butt off, when really you should be making, way more than that, much easier. So Here's JB Hunt. You know, they are not going to pay you anything. Here's one going down into Tolleson, Arizona. That's a good rate, but Arizona's a terrible power only market, so keep that in mind. More JB Hunt. I'm going to pay you $1.50 a mile. Here's probably some more loadouts. So Vegas is not a good power only market. It may be that you can fall into a good situation if you live out there and you just keep on the load boards. You might find one of those situations where there is good freight, but it very rarely pops on the load board, and you might be able to get in good with somebody. But yeah, not a great power only market. However, somebody asked me about Charlotte, North Carolina. It's above average for any kind of freight, really. But let's narrow this down a little bit and see what kind of rates we can get out of there. All right. Another JB Hunt just doesn't want to offer anything. Now, there's one with JB Hunt, and they have their own app. But let's look at this one real quick, and I'll tell you why it's not a good deal. Okay. So first off, it's a recovery, which you should be able to. This is going to be one of the easier JB Hunt loads you'll do probably. You're going to go pick up that load. Somebody's broke down somewhere. You'll go pick up the trailer. It's already preloaded. Boom, you're way ahead of the game, should be. 150 miles, they're basically offering $4 a mile. You're going to go live unloads. Already, you start to lose already. So you're going to go live unload. And once you do that, you're not done. JB Hunt wants you to take that trailer to a different location. It may be 50 miles. It may be 150 miles. And they're only going to pay you I think it's 75 cents a mile to do that. So, yeah, JB Hunt, there's a lot of people hauling that stuff for them because it's convenient for them. But they are really depressing the rates. Here's one, Charlotte to Denver. You should be able to get about, $3.50, $4 a mile, even though that's power only. You should be able to get a good rate going into Denver. So there's 8 loads, and keep in mind again, I'm looking at this on a Sunday, so this load board looks really bad. But let's look out 200 miles, boom, and come on, you can do it. And yeah, we got it on the highest rate, so I shouldn't have touched that. All right, so just doesn't look great. Here's one 72 miles. 275 a mile, something like that. For regular towaway. Pick up, take you 15 minutes. Drop, take you 20 minutes. 15 either end. So that's your normal, power only. That's a good run because when you get to Madison, you're not going to have to deadhead anywhere. You can get a load coming straight back and make the same rate. You could do it all day, every day. That's a good lane. So yeah, I'm looking at 285 loads within 200 miles of Charlotte, North Carolina on a Sunday. So yeah, very good market for any kind of freight. Here's one, Johnson City to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. $2.50 a mile, not bad. Here's one. Oh, it's a good rate, $4 a mile in a good lane for going down to Cookeville, Tennessee. So yeah, you can make some really good money. Probably if you live in Charlotte, you probably get home every night and make some good money. It's just a very good area for freight going through there. All right, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Hope your trucks are treating you good. I wanted to do a short video, which I do every week, every month. My gross numbers for the week, my gross numbers for the month, just to let you know how I'm doing. If you don't know, I don't run very hard. I want the balance between being home with my family, make enough money to put the money in the bank, take care of my truck, pay the bills. And so I'm not one of those road warriors. I work hard, but I like my time off. So that's why I highlighted the, 18 days. That's all I worked last month, and that's usually about seems about the average. Usually work about a little over half the month, and that really does the trick for me. So I took 13 full days off. That means I didn't get in the truck to go anywhere. I was home all day and all night. And actually there were a couple of half days in there also, but I didn't add that to my time off. I just left it in the how many days I worked there. So the month started off, and it's a normal month for me where I will work on loads around the house, close in Texas, around Texas. And then to break up the monotony, I'll make a long run and out and back. This month it was out to Vegas. When I got to Vegas, I brought a load back to Oklahoma. And then I stayed around the house again. So that trip, usually that does the trick, staying, doing these short runs around the house and being home often, and then doing that one long run. I don't do the long runs unless I come across a load that pays really well and it's going where I want to go. Just, that unique opportunity of those two things coming together. But I'm like I said, I'm not a road warrior. I'm not looking for that all the time. But if one drops on the board that's really convenient for me and pays well, I'll jump on it, do my out and back, and then stay around the house for the rest of the month. So that's been working out for me. And so for the month of March, oh, and before I forget, my last monthly video, I think I had written March across the top of it, but that was supposed to be February. I think I said February, but anyway, this month, March 1st through March 30th, all the invoices I turned in, I grossed I really have to nail this board down a little bit. $21,350, so not much off my average monthly. That seems to be pretty average for working about half the month. This month I worked a little bit more than half the month, but not much. And like I said, I started off the month running a couple of local runs, went to Vegas, came back, ran a couple more, then took just about 2 full weeks off. And then I just stayed right around the house for that last 10 days. But one thing I wanted to highlight is, so I put out my video a few days ago. I left the house on a Wednesday after taking time off, and I did my 7-day gross from Wednesday till the next Tuesday. But I wanted to highlight last week, Monday through Friday. So last week, Monday through Friday, I really hustled. I did 9 loads. Most of the time that's hard to do because something doesn't work out, and you know how it goes. But I did 9 loads, and each one of them paid pretty good. I missed the last load, which would have paid me a little over $1,200. The last load, I was going down to Houston. I was going to drop a trailer. I booked a load with XPO. Was supposed to pick that up and deliver it up in just past my house. I signed the rate con. I was in a hurry, signed it, sent it back, and then something in my mind said, wait a minute, that didn't look right. So I went back and looked at it, and for some reason, I don't know if it was my fault or theirs fault or what, but they booked it under F2F instead of under my authority. I'm signed up with them, so at that point it wasn't a big deal. I called her up and said, hey, I don't know what happened. I'm supposed to book this under my authority, and she said, oh yeah, no problem. She found my numbers, and she was about to send me a rate con, and this is over the course of, first I tried to email her a few times, but it's over the course of about 30 minutes, and finally she's about to send me a rate con, and I looked at the old rate con, and it said pick up by 2 p.m., in which I was going to make it probably about 2:30. And I asked her about it, and I said, well, on the load board it said 4 p.m. And so she took another 15 minutes to talk to the agent or whoever, came back and said, yeah, sorry, you can't, you have to be there before 2 p.m. So ended up having to cancel that one. That would have added $1,400, which would have made it a real blockbuster week. But it was a good week anyhow. And I didn't add up the miles. I always do that. The miles for last week. About between 26 and 2,700 miles for last week. Just a guess there. Just for last week, Monday through Friday. Okay. $9,750. Hustling. Everything went just right. Can you do this every week in power only? Maybe if you find the right run. Usually you're going to have to do a lot of miles. It's possible to get close to that probably every week, but don't count on this. Don't, expect this every week. I get asked that question a lot. Can I make it doing power only? Comparatively speaking to, when they were pulling a van or something like that. The gross overall is not going to look as good as if you get those long runs in a van. But I'd say safely you can make between $6,000 and $7,000 a week doing power only, pretty safely if you hustle. But this is just Monday through Friday, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. 9 loads. I really hustled. There was no waste of time. Everything went perfectly. So, I'm bragging about this, but don't count on that every week. So that's it. That's the normal kind of thing I do, doing my some runs around the house, some local stuff. And when that gets a little monotonous, I'll do my out and back like I did this month, going to Vegas and back. And then last week, the opportunities just kept presenting themselves for this week. I was really only going to do about 5 loads that week, but I kept getting calls saying, hey, can you do this? And man, it just worked out one right after the other. And so there you go. My March gross, $21,350 for working 18 days. And then just a little tidbit Monday through Friday, $97.50.